Joining me now is Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown, and he's going to talk to us about some of this. Senator Brown, have you gotten a thank you note from the Republicans for all the concessions that the Democrats and then I should say President Obama gave them?
I guess I haven't. I haven't also got a glass of, what did you say, shut up juice? Is that what you called it? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's from The Rock.
Okay. No, I mean, I mean, the Republicans vote against all this. Of course they do. There's an argument, as E.J. Dionne said, some columnist in the Post said some time ago, that, some Democrats advocate moving to the center and the Republicans keep moving the center. And this crowd is far to the right. The fear when Senator Bennett, the Utah senator, not the really good Colorado senator, when he lost his caucus primary. He's a very conservative man. He's a decent guy. He works with Democrats some. He lost in the Utah Republican primary caucus. That made Republicans even more far right because they're all afraid of getting attacked from the right. So, we saw some good things in the lame duck between November and January. I'm hopeful we can do some of those things, but not moving further to the right, but finding ways to find some common ground. I think we can do that on some issues, but it doesn't mean raising the Social Security, the eligibility age for Social Security. It doesn't mean cutting Medicare. It doesn't mean a lot of things that Republicans think they're going to try to get done.
So, Senator Brown, you just mentioned Social Security. I read today that President Obama had to be talked out of including in his speech cuts on Social Security or raising the age, and that liberal senators talked him out of that. Is there any truth to that you know of?
No, I don't know. I can't believe in the end there is. I mean, the problem in this town, Cenk, as you know, is that there are a bunch of people that dress like this, that really don't know too many seniors that are really struggling. They forget that Social Security, the average Social Security payment in this country is about $14,000 a year, and an awful lot of Americans rely on that for an overwhelming amount of their income when they're above 62 or 65. They also don't really know enough people when they think about raising the retirement age. They don't really know people who are on their feet all day, that work in a factory, that work at a diner, that work as a clerk in a grocery store. They don't know how hard that work is and how you can't work till you're 70 years old. So to me, and I think to most Democrats and certainly progressives, raising the retirement age, cuts in Social Security are off the table. Not after tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans and then going after Social Security. I'm not part of that. Most of us won't be part of that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, Senator Brown, though, if the story is true, and I fear that it is true, it seems like we're always trying to pull the president back to being a Democrat. Seems like his instinct is, what can I give to the Republicans? And look, today in his speech, it looks like he's going to say that he's going to ask for a 3-year spending freeze on domestic programs, including air traffic control. That doesn't seem like a good program to freeze up. He already froze the employee pay for the federal employees. He already said we're going to take away regulations and bought into the Republican framing that somehow costs us jobs. Are you concerned about this, what I see to be a significant rightward shift of the president?
Well, I'm concerned about the push from some in the administration and within the administration and some within the House and Senate that want to see the president move in that direction. But I mean, of course, we're disappointed sometimes, but also look what we've seen the last 2 years. We ratified the START treaty. We against Republican opposition, were able to extend unemployment each time. We've seen private sector economic growth for a year now after the way this started out. We see an auto industry that's back on its feet in providing a lot of jobs in states like Ohio. We saw Lilly Ledbetter. We saw a health care bill that we couldn't do in this body for 75 years. We saw Wall Street reform. Again, I would have had amendments. I tried in some cases on the public option, on capping the size of banks. But, we didn't pass those, but we had pretty incredible accomplishments in the last 2 years. All of it sort of clouded over because the economy's still bad. But you don't blame the president for that. He at least has turned it around in the right direction.
I got to ask you one last question, Senator, because, look, the points you make are fair. There have been some progressive things that were passed, no question about it, Lilly Ledbetter, et cetera, you name the list. But if the president keeps going right as it seems he's going to in this speech, is there a point where you say, I'm sorry, Mr. President, I can't go along with that?
Well, sure, I've done that on some things, and I will in the future. Of course, but I don't want to prejudge the speech that way. I don't want to prejudge after the speech what the reaction is. But the progressive forces in the Democratic Party are strong. We're not going to see anybody successfully going after Social Security or going after Medicare. We're not going to see the fundamental democratic tenets of our country, what the progressive movement has done in this country. We're not going to see that undercut and rolled back. We're just not going to let it happen.
All right. I like that kind of talk. I like the talk where you don't like cutting Social Security, and I hope the president's on your side. So, Senator Brown, thank you so much for joining us today on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.